Hello, this is Brian. Today is Thursday, March 30th, 2023. I'm here at the Mission Dam area at Mission Trails, and I want to do a spotlight on plants video today. Today I want to focus on a plant that you'll find in these wetter riparian corridors, and today's focus is on California Blackberry, Rubus ursinus. Rubus ursinus is a woody-based vine in the rose family, the Rosaceae, mostly evergreen here in the warm areas of Southern California. Maybe deciduous higher up in elevation, but what we have here is a sprawling vine, a vine that sprawls all over the ground in these moister areas, especially near riparian woodlands, in other words near water sources like here, right by this outflow floodplain right here. So what you're going to have with this plant is these gently woody canes that sprawl all over the landscape, and they are covered all over with these prickles. Look carefully here, you can see a lot of prickles here on the vines. So it's not a plant you want to touch too much, because the prickles on these plants are very sharp. But you can see here, we got a nice little population of them here in this understory riparian woodland with Fremont cottonwood, Goody's black willow or royal willow, and some coast live oak. But now you can see you got these vines with the canes that stick upright, and then they're also characterized by these 3 leaflets. So looking at it, if you're looking at it first, you might think it looks like poison oak. And it is a little similar to poison oak in the shape of its leaflets, because it's divided into 3 leaflets, like Toxicodendron diversilobum, which is our western poison oak. However, you don't have to worry. The only thing you have to worry about is getting pricked pretty hard by some of these really sharp needle-like prickles on the stem. So they're kind of a soft color. They're fuzzy, unlike poison oak, which is shiny and smooth and glabrous. Again, these leaves are kind of fuzzy, gently hairy, and they do have some prickles on the underside of the leaf stalks as well, so you might want to be careful. And these are the newer leaves that are just coming out this year. And then the bark turns gray when it gets older. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few pictures of the plant's leaves, and then I'm going to move into some other properties of this plant. So I may have previously mentioned that this is a member of the rose family, the Rosaceae. And so it's in a family that's very commonly and popularly known through the world for several different types of plants. Being that it's in the rose family, you have apples, pears, peaches, plums, apricots, quinces. You have raspberries. You have the ornamental roses. And then you have plants like our chaparral plants, like your common chemise, red shanks. They're all in the rose family. And even the mountain mahogany. So one indicator that this is a rose family plant is by looking at its pretty nice white 5-petal flowers, as you see here. 5 white petal flowers in early spring, and then it's a little early now, but later on, the fruits are actually little aggregates of drupelets that form a blackberry, an edible blackberry. It's a wild edible here in Southern California. So if you see it on the side of the trail, making sure you're not touching any poison oak that might be growing next to it, because they do grow together. You can pick the fruit of this plant and eat it. It's a wild edible. It's supposed to be quite delicious. I've yet to do it, but I read that they're supposed to be fragrant too. Let me see if I can do this without pricking myself. They do have a slight fragrance, but yeah, they're really pretty. White five-petaled flowers. And then the fruits will start off green, grading into red, and then ripening a deep purplish black. So if you've ever been to a grocery store and you've bought blackberries, well, this is a species of blackberry. So if you know what a blackberry looks like, you already know what the fruit is. But technically the fruit is an aggregate of drupelets. In other words, what you'll see is like a thumb-shaped cluster of little tiny berry-like drupelets. So that's an aggregate. They call it an aggregate of drupelets. And that will occur more towards the summer as the plants are bearing fruit after they've been pollinated. So if you come here in early spring, you'll get treated to these little white 5-petal white flowers. Come here during the summer months, you might be able to catch them in fruit. But again, they like these moisture locations in riparian woodlands, especially near creeks, where there's a lot more moisture available, especially in the soil. So this is pretty common in the lowlands of California, but I'm also going to list a more comprehensive range of this plant as it's found here in Southern California and in the state of California in general. Again, this is Rubus ursinus. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few more pictures of this plant, and then I'll close off the spotlight video. So, as I mentioned, it likes moisture woodland understories. So if you were to cultivate this plant at home, and I would imagine this would probably be a pretty good plant to cultivate in a native plant garden, just keep it in the understory of woodlands and forest. And if your area gets extremely dry, maybe supplement a little bit of moisture during the summer months. Otherwise, enjoy it. Beautiful plant, rose family, wild edible, very showy garden plant. Just be careful of those prickles. Sometimes these canes, as you can see here, sometimes these canes can get a good few feet tall. Here's an example right here, right next to the coast live oak. You saw me take a picture, saw my picture earlier. Here's a part of the cane right up here, so it's a little taller than me. So there you have it, the beautiful Rubus ursinus, the California blackberry here at Mission Trails Regional Park. That will do it for my Spotlight on Vines video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another episode.